Hello, Top Fan Rivalry family, and welcome to Thursday. That's right, we are here. We got through a couple of Tigers episodes. We did an honor to Jason Beck and how much we miss him. And now it's time to do a Dodgers recap or Dodgers update, which Scott and I have been doing, but we have just hit the dog days of summer in the sense that we just kept missing each other. So, Scotty, welcome
Yeah,
back. It's
thank
time
you.
to do the Dodger update, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
It feels like an eternity since we've
it's
chatted. But yeah,
it's
I'm
been
glad
about a
glad to be
month,
back.
which is
Yeah,
insane.
it's and like you said, just dog days of summer. It's been I can't believe we're coming up middle of August already next week. That just
Yeah,
blows my mind.
100%, 100%. So Scott, let's start first. Let's just throw it out there. Trade deadline. What were your thoughts about the trade deadline? The Dodgers did very little.
I mean, you and I have talked throughout this season and during spring training about the depth of the Dodgers team, both on both sides of the ball, and it doesn't surprise me they didn't do much. They've been battling injuries, and I think they still feel like as long as they can get those guys healthy, that's the best bet for the Dodgers. I mean, you maybe would have liked to see them address the pitching a little bit, especially maybe the closer role or the back end. Maybe see if someone, I haven't actually kept tabs on him, so I don't know how he's doing this year. But it was Kenley Jansen, just as an example. Was he available for a trade of some kind? I don't know. To me that would have been the biggest glaring thing. We've just kind of had it's been hit or miss out of the back end of that bullpen, which we thought was going to be the strongest part
Mhm.
of pitching staff, and it's just kind of been I don't know. Hopefully, we can get that ship completely righted. But I'm not surprised. I'm not really. I can't say I'm disappointed, but I kind of, like I said, I kind of see. I think where the team feels like they're at, and with injuries, they're just like and they don't want to trade any of their prospects away. We got a few prospects, a couple guys that have spent some time on the team this year for a little bit with injuries, but yeah, I know that's not so insightful or inflammatory to anybody, but I just it doesn't
No.
surprise me. They just stood pat. So
Well, what's interesting, Scotty, and what you're basically saying is, what do the Dodgers really need to do? I
yeah,
mean, there's not a lot of holes. Maybe a little bit of bullpen help, but Blake Snell got healthy. He
yep,
pitched this last weekend, and he did a fantastic job. There, Tyler Glass now is now healthy again. Clayton Kershaw's pitching like the Clayton Kershaw of
yeah. I was
old.
gonna say Kershaw. I think's given us more than we thought we'd get this early in the season. So yeah,
Yeah,
I do. I think that's where it just lands for me. And you know that the media doesn't get a hold of everything, and I'm sure the Dodgers inquired about some guys, and there was either no interest in dumping guys they were interested in, or their
right.
asking price was so high it just wasn't even a starter. It was a
Yeah,
non-starter. So
yeah,
I don't know, but I'm okay.
100%.
Look, we said this before we started recording. If opening day in well for the Dodgers in Japan, um, if you'd have told us at this point in the season we'd have a 2-game lead in the NL West, I think we'd take it every day.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what
Especially with all the injuries.
yeah,
If you would have
sure.
told us two-game lead, I would have said, okay, who was injured, how long,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
But we've played through some injuries. We've done some good things. So, okay, so we got the trade deadline out. We got a little bit of the dog days of summer. They had a little bumpy patch in
Yeah.
July. Obviously, this weekend, starting tomorrow night, we host the Padres at home. Then we go to Colorado for four. Then we come back home. I'm sorry. Then we come back to SoCal and we go down to San Diego.
Yeah.
Thoughts? I mean, is this panic mode time or is this just, hey, these are the dog days of summer, we'll be fine?
I think it's dog days of summer. We're going to be fine. I'll tell you what though, after the 24th of August, after six against the Padres, and look, I know the Rockies are terrible, but they're
Right,
a division foe. You're at their house. You hope they go and sweep that four gamer, or the very least win three of the four
right, right,
in
right.
that series. But uh, depending on where they're sitting after those division games, that's where you'll decide. Okay, are they okay, or is it time to panic? For me, this because look, if you go and you win, you got this series. Let's say you win 2 out of 3 against the Angels. Hope the Padres at worst or at best match that. Maybe or at worst match that. At best they get swept. Whatever. But even if you go into that series against the Padres at Dodger Stadium with just the 2 game lead, you win 2 of the 3 of those, you pick up a game, so you're up 3 games. You win that
Well,
other you win that other series against the Padres. Now you're 4 games up plus go sweep the Rockies. It just this is a no panic mode, but this is a critical little stretch for the Dodgers with the Padres right on their tail.
yeah. And see, even if they take 2 out of 3 from San Diego, even though you're only picking up a game, you're counting off 3 games in the schedule,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
huge. That
Exactly.
is huge.
Exactly.
Absolutely huge.
And
So
it's and that stretch there against like you said, like we said, and look, that's the last time I think we play San Diego, right? For the season in the regular season. So
yes,
this
sir.
is a chance. This is the Dodgers' chance to really put some distance between them going head to head, because
Yeah.
every win against them is like 2. So, um, yeah, I mean, and it'll set them up for a good opportunity in September, and they'll have to fight off the Giants and a pretty good Phillies team, and but their schedule gets a little bit easier as they get into September. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this is a critical turning point. If they can win these series, and that's I think that's got to be what they're telling themselves. That's got to be what Dave Roberts is telling them is look, we got to go win these series game at a time, but we got to win 2 out of 3. And in that Rockies one, we got to win 3 out of 4. You,
I
you,
take
you
it
can't
one day at a
keep us.
time.
But I know all the cliches. We're throwing them out there.
There you go.
But
Yeah, I
it is.
agree with
It's
you.
this because if they really falter on this, you could be in put yourself in a hole and be in big trouble, and then you're a wild card team. Not the end of the world, but like we've talked about all year, this team is built for the playoffs, but you still got to get there. So
Yep.
let's
Yeah,
finish
and
it.
it's about positioning. I mean, look at what Milwaukee's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Milwaukee, if you would have told me that Milwaukee at this point in the season would be the best team in baseball, I would have laughed at you. I would have
Yeah,
said,
for sure.
nice try.
Yeah, yeah, for
Nice
sure.
try. So, okay, so I agree with you, dog days of summer. Now, the Dodgers, the Dodgers have had some depth come back, right? We talked about Clayton. Uh, we talked about Clayton. We talked about Tyler Glass. Now we talked about Blake Snell,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep,
Now
yep.
let's talk on the offensive side. Andy Paez is hitting almost 280, which is great. Believe it or not, don't look now, but Max Muncy is hitting, I think, 260,
I know.
right?
Awesome.
Freddie is picking it up. Mookie's picking it up. Shohei has again gotten over 40 home runs in the season. That's twice Dodger uniforms that he's done that. He will finish this season up with over 100 home runs in Dodger uniform in 2 seasons. So Eric Karros, I am so sorry, my good friend, but you're going to get
Yeah,
moved out of that way
yeah. You're
here
gonna
real quick. Let
that
Shohei stick around for a bit.
unique trivia question
Yeah,
about who the Dodger home run leader is about to become more obvious to most people and not
it's
be
going
so
to be a
true.
lot more. That's true. Now,
Oh my goodness.
I've watched a lot of games recently. I know you have too.
Yeah.
Do you have any concern for the team? Is it status quo or is there anything that you would like to see them not do as much and or do more of?
I think it goes back to what we talk about a lot with this is continue with more small ball and finding opportunities to create and manufacture runs. And the biggest reason I say that is you have to be able to do that better in the playoffs because you're going to be up against better pitching staffs. You're going to be, and on the flip side, you're up against better lineups, our pitching staff, and so runs are usually at a premium in the playoffs, and you've got to be able to know that you can count on Andy Pajes to lay a bunt down when you really really need him to. You've got to. I don't know. I know I'm kind of we show our age a little bit when we talk like this, but I like a little bit of the small ball. It's I don't mind the hit swinging for the fences when time is right, but there's times when sometimes you're just not locked in enough, or a pitcher is just he's not going to give you a pitch you can really hit out, so you got to figure out how to, go opposite with it, or do something else with it, hit and run, whatever, steal some bases. That's one thing that I like. I feel like the Dodgers, compared at least to the rest of the league, try to steal some bags but at the same time, let's do some more of that, right? We had Shoei last year, the first 50-50 guy. Let's get a few other guys. Maybe you dedicate a day of spring training next year. I know this is in the future, but you dedicate a year to, or a day or two in spring training for have Shoei, show people what he does, how he gets a jump and those things. Get all these guys figuring that out. So,
Correct.
like I said, probably show my age with that, but
No, 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 no.
that's all I'd say. There's a little
Yep.
concerns in the back end of the bullpen, but I think those are going to work themselves out. Those guys they've got are too good athletes to not get
Yeah,
that.
the only thing that I would say is there's one feeds into the other here. The only thing I would say, Scott, is we've got to eliminate mental mistakes,
Yeah.
which on the field we are, at the plate we are not. And I'll give you an example. On Sunday's game, they were playing Detroit. I'm sorry, they were playing Toronto.
Oh.
And they went up, I think, 2-1 on two home runs,
Mhm.
but they ended up leaving, I believe the bases were loaded, and the starting pitcher had, I don't know, 35 pitches or something to that effect, and our 38 pitches. And I texted a friend and I said, now we need to go and get this guy up to 60 pitches by the end of the second, make him throw some additional pitches, take
Mhm.
some pitches. Even if you go up there and you think I'm going to take until you get a strike, even if you're starting 0-1, force him to make those
Mhm.
pitches because now you're 60 pitches into it, and maybe you're
Yeah.
up instead of 2-1, maybe you're up 3-1 or 4-1, and you're
Yeah.
60 pitches in. Then you get into the bullpen after maybe the third, and so it's just different. It's just weird fundamental baseball like that.
Better plate discipline. I agree
Hmm.
with you. That's something I have noticed a little bit too, and especially because the last several seasons, the Dodgers have been the best at that. They've been the best at plate discipline, not swinging at pitches outside the zone, and especially not swinging at pitches way outside the zone. And you've seen a little more of that this year.
Yeah.
Not from everybody, including Shoei,
Well,
swinging at stuff that and I like what you said. When you got a guy high pitch count in an inning, you got to try and follow up that next inning and take the first pitch. Make him, before you even think about swinging, take pitches till you get a strike.
yeah.
My dad, as a little league coach, used to tell us that all the time. He's like, you got to learn how to hit with 1 and 2 strikes, and the main reason is because you go up there and make them throw you a strike. Make them throw you a strike. What if they throw three straight balls and it's a 3-0 count? Now you can start sitting on a pitch. Now you can really start, and know he's going to try and get this at least close to the zone to get you to swing at it, if not in the zone. So I agree. I
Right.
agree with that too. Better plate discipline would be helpful.
Would
And
be
again,
key.
especially as we're heading into the playoffs,
Yeah, would be key.
down the
100%.
stretch run here and
100%.
the playoffs.
Okay, so we covered the trade deadline. We covered the dog days. We've covered positions. We've covered what we need to do. Again, big series this weekend, big series next weekend, back-to-back series, Padres Dodgers. Um, and so I like it. I like where the Dodgers are at, but wrap the show up here. Tell me anything else that you think the Dodgers on or do less of, or anybody you want to highlight or anything. Just wrap the show up for us.
Oh, for me, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. And look, if I'm of course biased, he's one of my all-time favorite Dodgers is Clayton Kershaw, but it's great to see him pitching like Kershaw of about 5 years ago, and
Mhm.
especially after the first start he had back from injury was not glowing, but he has really kind of dialed it in since then, and it's great to see because that's a guy you're going to want and need in the postseason. He's going to and who knows what his role is going to be. I mean, that's the other thing. We got to see who's really dialing it in as we get it into end of September and approaching
Yeah.
October. So, but it
And,
just for me, like I said, especially because he's a big fan. I'm a big fan of his and always been a fan of his. It makes me feel good as a Dodger fan that he's pitching as good as he has, at least in a couple years.
okay.
So that thing for sure. You brought up the other one. Max Muncy has brought his average up to where it's at, which is exactly what we need. And let's just keep it heading in that direction because a healthy Max Muncy, I think you'll agree that a few years ago when he got hurt running out a grounder, I think it was to first base and ran into the first baseman and broke his wrist. And that was a huge loss for the Dodgers that playoffs. And so we need these, and I feel like they're rounding into shape, even though the record, over the last 10, they're 5-5. They've won the last, I think, is it 3 of the 4 last series?
Yeah.
So they're doing what they need to do. The Padres have been playing really good baseball. But let's just continue to hope they're the Padres. So
Okay, so
yeah.
final question I have for you as we wrap up this
Okay.
Thursday, or as I like to call it Friday Eve. If you are the GM,
Yeah.
okay, you are the GM. Clayton Kershaw has now retired. Okay,
Okay.
he pitched the 25 season, 26 season, took the 27 season off, and then the 28 season, he gives you a call and he says, GM Scotty, I'd like to be the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Man.
Do you stay with your boy Dave Roberts, or do you
I
say,
think I do. I think I do. And I think my response to Clayton is probably, hey, we would love that to happen in the next several years when the time is right for us and Dave to part ways, whatever that looks like. But we're gonna stick with our boy. But let's get you some other positions in the coaching staff so that you're around and you can start honing your craft so that when the time's right.
okay,
I wouldn't even mind with Clayton. He's such a bright baseball mind. I wouldn't even mind, as a GM making him the obvious heir apparent,
yeah,
almost calling it out that, this is who will be taking over once Dave's done.
yeah.
Uh, but I
Mark
just,
Pryor, I'm sorry you're out.
yeah, and I love Mark Pryor, but it's, and look, here's the thing. Dave Roberts, he has done such a phenomenal job. And I don't think I'm out of place saying it's like a Phil Jackson situation because part of probably more of Dave's job than anything is managing egos. Because as great a guys as we have on this Dodger team, it happens to the best of us. We let our ego get in the way and we think we deserve something, this, that, and you know how that is. In some cases, yeah, we do deserve it,
We
but
do it.
but we just don't get it, and that's just life. So, Dave deserves so much credit. I mean, they've literally only in his time there, I think, only not won the NL West once.
Yeah.
So, how can you argue with that over that? And you've been to the World Series 4 times and you've won 2 of them.
Yeah.
Every other team in baseball would take that. And so, sorry to jump on my soapbox, but you and I know, are on the same page on that. People are too quick to say, "Oh, let's get rid of Dave Roberts." No, it's not a Dave Roberts problem.
Listen,
Our
Dave
losing
Roberts
streak
wins
we
one
were
more
on
World
was
Series.
not. Yeah,
He wins one more World Series. That means he would win more than Tommy Lasorda.
right,
He'd be tied with Walter Johnson, I think, if I'm not
right.
mistaken,
I think that's right.
or Walter Alston. And then you would, I mean, if he coaches for as long as Tommy Lasorda did, he would pass Tommy Lasorda in the wins column.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. And especially with the guys we've got under contract, and that with this ownership group, they have shown time and again they're not going to shy away from spending the dollars they need
yeah,
to stay competitive. So you're gonna, yeah, if he coaches that long, he will. He'll be the best coach in Dodger history. You know, Uh,
all right, everybody. We are so grateful that you joined us on Thursday. Scotty and I will be back in 2 weeks to give you give you a little bit more Dodger love all the way through it. If you haven't already checked it out, you need to go to topfanrivalry.com and you need to search uh, Turn the Park Purple. We are currently selling purple shirts that we are paying for ourselves. Top Fan Rivalry is paying for ourselves, and we'll ship them to you after you purchase. And those shirts, the proceeds will go to Project Purple, who is a group out of Connecticut that um, they they fund pancreatic cancer research. They also fund research, or they also fund families that get the same type of chemo treatments that I got, but could not afford to get them. So they're a great organization and we love helping them out. So feel free, everybody, grab yourself 1, 2, or 8 shirts. It doesn't matter how many you want to grab. They're there on the website. Go at them. So look forward to having you do that. Scotty, we need to do this again in 2 weeks.
Yep. Sounds good. I'm glad to be back on track here, and now we're in the stretch run here. Let's hope we have some positive things to talk about in 2 weeks.
100%. All right, all enjoy your Thursday, and we will talk soon, everybody. Have a great night or a great day, I should say.